Workflow triggers are here and they're very easy to use. When you're creating a workflow, you can just go down here to triggers, press add trigger, and you can set them to run every hour, every day, every week, every month, or create a custom schedule. Click continue. And so you can create these sort of custom schedules. They can't run more than once an hour, but you can set them to run every few weeks. You can set the time zone that you're in, which can be important if you want something to run at 9 a.m. Eastern every Monday. You need to make sure it's in the Eastern time zone. If you want to get more specific with this, you can create these cron expressions. You can use AI to help you come up with what these look like if you want to get really, really granular here. But the simple builder is good enough for 99% of your use cases. So what this means is if you create this trigger, the workflow that it's associated with will run automatically without you having to log into Hatz. It will run, it will generate all of the outputs, and those outputs will live in your run history, which you can find just by going to My Items and then Run History. One thing to call out with this specifically is if you're adding a trigger to a workflow, this works best with workflows that actually don't have any user inputs. They don't have any of these red boxes in your workflow. Because if the workflow starts and it requires something to be filled into this field, it's not going to have that information to kick off the workflow. So this works best with workflows that actually don't have these, which might be blowing some minds right now, but you don't need to actually have any user inputs. For example, your first step might be something like a web search, right? You got some web search tools and it's going to do a web search for a certain topic that you've written into a prompt here. Or this first step is going to be something like accessing files in Microsoft or using the Zapier MCP server to get more live data. It might be accessing a page in Notion, or it might be connected to your Salesforce or your HubSpot. So you don't need an actual user input for every single workflow or every workflow step, especially if you're going to be running it with a trigger. The best way to figure out how this works is just to get in here, test it out for yourself, add a trigger, see how it works, and you'll come up with some really cool ways to use these workflow triggers. All right, happy prompting.